Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Monday, 18th March 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Haiti Gang Violence Escalates. Hunt on for gang leader barbecue. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength. We'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give. It's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Jimmy Cherizier, the elite police officer turned gang leader known as Barbecue, has risen through Haiti's political vacuum to become one of the country's most powerful men. More in this WION report with Alison Legrange.
As gang violence continues to grip Haiti, police in the capital of Port-au-Prince are trying to recapture areas held by notorious gang leader Jimmy Cherizier, also known as Barbecue. The United States has announced that it will airlift stranded Americans via a chartered flight from Cap Haitien, now nearly 200 kilometers away from the capital. The gang leader Barbecue has been one of the most outspoken enemies of Ariel Henry, demanding his resignation ever since he was sworn in as the Prime Minister of Haiti. Police are trying to recapture areas held by the gang leader and have entered his stronghold, the Dalmas neighborhood, to try and arrest him. Police have said that they have killed several gang members in the operation, cleared several roadblocks, and seized firearms. But for ordinary Haitians, the situation continues to be dangerous. On the streets of the city, charred vehicles, debris, and damaged infrastructure mark the sites of violent clashes between criminal gangs and security forces, while gunshots still ring out throughout the day.
Today is a Friday, and we can hear some heavy attack, some people trying to attack some building of the government. For example, last night they attacked the academy, the police academy. Police academy is where the new trainees get the formation before graduate, and the gang launched an attack to try to take over the police academy. Today, the situation is not really calm in Port-au-Prince because, like I said before, there was many attacks from the gang in Port-au-Prince. 80% of the capital is under influence of the gang. That's what the UN said. That's what the last report of the UN said. Because every part in the capital is being controlled by gang. This is the situation in Port-au-Prince right now.
With no end to the violence in sight, many embassies and consulates are airlifting their citizens out until the situation normalizes. On Saturday, the United States' State Department told stranded Americans that a chartered flight would depart from the port city of Cap Haitien, and the State Department said that only U.S. citizens with valid visas would be allowed to travel, and the flight would only go ahead if the situation at Cap Haitien remains stable. Last week, Washington airlifted its non-essential embassy staff from Port-au-Prince. Now, after weeks of mounting pressure and escalating violence, Ariel Henry announced that he would resign once a transitional presidential council is created. He was not allowed to return to Haiti after leaving in late January for visits to Guyana and Kenya, where he signed a deal on the deployment of an international security force to help quell the violence at home. Since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in July of 2021, there has been an uptick in gang violence in Haiti, with criminal groups trying to fill in the power vacuum. This year, the country was scheduled to hold elections on the 7th of February, but it failed to materialize, leading to social unrest. Since the end of February, armed gangs have attacked public institutions, including the capital's police stations, police academies, and the international airport, demanding Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry step down.
Minister of National Security of the Bahamas, Wayne Monroe, gives an update on the Haiti deployment. More in the ZNS News item with Jiminita Swain.
National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, didn't mince words when he clarified today whether Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers will still be deployed to Haiti in light of the recent developments surrounding the Kenyan-led multinational force.
Well, as far as I'm aware, the resolution is still there for the force. The position always was that they got to select someone to lead it. Kenya was the country that stepped forward to lead it. The remarks I saw that emanated from them was that their police require a civilian government in order to deploy, and so long as if there becomes a civilian government, they will. Our commitment was always as a supporting role.
That role, we understand from the National Security Minister, was for at least 150 Marines to provide maritime security. Now, on Monday, CARICOM Chairman and President of Guyana, His Excellency Mohamed Afran Ali, announced that the Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigned, and that led to establishing a transnational presidential council to govern Haiti. If you recall, the transnational force being led by Kenya was viewed as unconstitutional back in January by its courts, and this week Kenya's Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary said the deploying of officers to Haiti has been put on hold. The National Security Minister reaffirms the pledge of CARICOM and, by extension, the Bahamas.
The Bahamas has committed to, whenever there is a Haitian solution, to play our part. Because if Haiti continues to be in turmoil, more and more Haitians will leave and head our way. It's in our national security interest that law and order returns to Haiti.
Now, this week alone, there has been at least 2 interdictions of migrants fleeing Haiti. Minister Monroe contends even more nations affected are beefing up measures.
The U.S. Coast Guard has deployed Coast Guard cutters to this area as well. And other measures for maritime awareness, maritime control, because these folks are headed to the U.S., more so than us. And so you'd have seen HMBS Bahamas make its interdiction in the waters of the Turks and Caicos Islands.
And when it comes to migrant apprehensions, the National Security Minister confirmed, as far as he's aware, the Immigration Department's position remains the same. Law enforcement officials will continue to arrest and detain migrants at every opportunity. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jiminita Swain.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Weeks after OECS member countries met with representatives of the European Union Commission and the head of the visa policy in Dominica late January 2024, St. Kitts and Nevis' Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew has indicated that an OECS Memorandum of Understanding among OECS CBI program states is to be signed. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
Speaking recently at a roundtable discussion with the St. Kitts and Nevis media, Dr. Drew said he had signed the document which is being used to demonstrate to the European Union that the Caribbean CBI countries are serious about the program and its integrity.
And that is why we continue to strengthen the program, and that is why I'm encouraging other countries to strengthen their programs as well. Today I can say we met, 5 prime ministers, we all met, and we have come up with an MOU led by the OECS authority, which I have signed. I signed yesterday, and we intend to wrap up the signature and to get it back out. Those who will sign on to Europe to show them that we are serious when it comes to regulations, and management of this vital program.
According to a source, the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI program is ensuring that the due diligence mechanism is aligned with international standards and the attraction of credible investors into the program. Glenn Bard reporting for SK Newsline.
Economist Dr. Terence Farrell says Trinidad and Tobago is in desperate need of a new economic model and public sector reform. CNC3's Business Watch with Peter Christopher reporting on this.
This country's current economic model has led to a highly unproductive public sector, which has in turn stifled the private sector. This was a concern raised by economist Dr. Terence Farrell during a panel discussion at the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce annual Mix and Mingle at the Hyatt Regency on Thursday.
The problem is the economic model that creates a bloated public sector, that squeezes and crowds out the private sector, that has us in a situation where we are not focusing on what we need to focus on, which is on generating exports from the so-called non-energy sector.
Dr. Farrell explains that this has been exacerbated by an underperforming public service, which has been generally insulated as a result of a legal ruling decades ago, and as a result, there is little improvement.
There is no business here, no private sector person here, who when your employee or your manager is not performing, that you can't fire them. You fire them when they're not performing. Is that not right? The Prime Minister is responsible for crime and cannot fire the Commissioner of Police.
Farrell says while it is obvious that the public sector is in need of reform, it has been slow due to it being a contentious matter on the political front.
A very big win. Defense attorneys pleased with Privy Council judgment on Vibes cartel. TVJ's Romado Lyons reports.
God and time. And we always know that, God and time.
And a quash. One that has evoked a sense of joy from those representing the appellants. For one, Isaac Buchanan, attorney for Adija Vibes Cartel Palmer, is loving every minute.
I'm very happy about that. It was a just decision, it was the right decision, and it was what was expected.
And as expectations reach fever pitch among supporters, the question among many is what does it mean for Mr. Palmer and his team? Standing outside the Privy Council, just minutes after the judgment, Mr. Buchanan gladly responded.
What it means is that in the same guidance that they had sought it, the judges have the discretion now to deal with the matter at the local level, which is in keeping with judicial independence, in keeping with our independence and what our Constitution speaks about.
Julian Malin's KC, who was a part of the legal team for Sean Storm Campbell, says the Privy Council made a sound judgment.
Well, I think it was entirely the right decision. They're on remand now, not convicted persons. So we regard this as a very big win.
Mr. Palmer is not a convict. He does not have a conviction. Mr. Sean Campbell does not have a conviction. Mr. Andre St. John is not convicted on this matter. And Mr. Keras Jones, his conviction is quashed on this.
Meanwhile, it's the hope of attorney Linda Hudson that the Court of Appeal considers all the relevant factors. One that immediately comes to mind.
The time that the appellants have spent in custody and also media publicity, etc. But I'm sure, I feel comfortable that the Court of Appeal will come to the right decision on that.
And in the event there's a retrial, Ms. Hudson says there's one question at the center of it all.
And whether a fair trial is at all possible.
There were some supporters of Mr. Palmer who were unstoppable. The men said they had to be at the Privy Council on Thursday for the judgment.
I know, say, there's not the 100% to say my man guilty them way there, to how they try to portray him. You understand? I'm not saying he's without sin, but there's a lot more to this, and them not giving no justice.
When you look at the evidence and how the court deal with it in Jamaica, you can see it was an unsafe conviction, and a lot of violation of rights. And here in the UK, then deal with your rights.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.